Well, ladies and gentlemen, live on Access TV from Memorial Hall here in Kansas City, Kansas, a very good evening and welcome to Invicta FC, the Phoenix Tournament. Tonight, atomweights go to battle for the atomweight championship of the Phoenix Series. Here we go with our first quarterfinal tonight, 1 5-minute round, this again scheduled in the atomweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 3 inches tall. Weighing in officially 105 3/4 pounds, her professional record stands even with 3 victories and 3 defeats. Fighting out of Brighton, Michigan, here is Tabitha Batgirl Watkins. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 1 inch tall. She weighed in officially 105 1/2 pounds and in 13 professional fights holds a record of 10 victories with 3 defeats. Fighting out of Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, here is Jessica Correa Delboni. And your referee in charge of the action is Nick Behrens.
Nick Behrens getting this quarterfinal assignment. It is Tabitha Watkins, the training partner of the atomweight champ, Alicia Zappatella, taking on a familiar foe, the woman who just fought her, Jessica Delboni. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Megan Anderson, round number 1 underway. Watkins in the black and gold, Delboni in the white with red. Looking at Delboni, she said she wanted to utilize her jiu-jitsu, knowing that this was a 1-round fight, and she's definitely getting that underway here early. Our clock powered by Jujumi. Fight premature aging with Jujumi's high-grade Jujubes, the ultimate unknown superfood. Use promo code Invicta FC for 10% off. Inside the closed guard, here is Delboni of Watkins. Looking at the way that this tournament is structured, 1 5-minute round, you know, the judges have the same criteria to score upon, but I feel like the judges look at damage a little bit more in these 1-round fights because, you know, the smallest of things can actually progress you to the next round.
Exactly, TJ, and for Watkins right here, she is on the cage. She is putting herself in this position. I know she's looking for a submission here, but she also, you know, she's in a position where Delboni can put her up against the cage and put on a lot of damage.
She's off to the side there, Julie, looking for this arm bar. Is she in business at all?
You know, she's got a nice frame right there, TJ, but Delboni's doing a really nice job of locking her own arms together and preventing Tabitha from actually executing and really extending the arm. And so you can see the way Delboni is kind of framing on her. I think that it would be a good idea for Tabitha to abandon this right now or switch to possibly finding a sweep from here.
Well, we look at that, you know, the 1-round sort of format here. You can almost hurt yourself by being too aggressive with the offense if you can't get the submission. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, and you waste a lot of energy. You know, you've only got 5 minutes to work, and, you know, Delboni is doing a really good job here of putting Watkins' weight over her head so she's not able to extend those hips. And, you know, she's eating up time here. This is time, even though Watkins has a submission, Delboni is eating up control time. She's defending really well, but she also has to be very patient here because one wrong move, and that sets up the perfect armbar for Watson.
And looking at Delboni, she's throwing the knees to the body here, which, you know, again, it's interesting to try to figure out how the judges are seeing it. Julie, is this offense here from Watkins or is it offense from Delboni?
Well, you know, I would kind of score this as an offensive attempt from Watkins and actual offense from Delboni at this point. Yeah, you can see Watkins is switching up her grip with her legs. She's trying to extend out. And Delboni's now, the frame is working against her until she can extract her hand. I like the way she just wrapped her legs around Watkins' head right there. That gives her a chance to kind of base out and find an explosive recovery of her arm.
Trying to make the adjustment here. Delboni having to be very careful here with how she wants to move. Watkins, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Delboni, a brown belt.
And I like how Watkins switched her position up. I like the way that she's digging real deep for that arm. Delboni's extending her head out, and you can see she's pulled that hand almost free.
But 90 seconds left here in round number 1.
Delboni's trying to use that leg there to, you know, kind of almost use Watkins's leverage against her, forcing her face away, trying to let go of that arm, but Watkins doing a really good job of switching to the other side of the hip there.
Delboni almost out of danger here. Watkins really not letting go of that arm. Quick little hammer fist there for the Brazilian.
The elbow was free there, TJ, for a second. Oops, still free.
And looking at Delboni here, she's almost clear of the position. She'll have a minute to really try to leave no doubt in the judges' minds here.
And she's actually got a nice armbar set up herself. If she can extract fully from that armbar and slide that right knee through.
I think she just really has to be careful of the triangle right here. Watkins seems to be trying to switch her hips around to go for that armbar, but Delboni needs to get to work here. I feel like Watkins has been, you know, somewhat attached to that armbar, that she's kind of been in a more dominant position looking for a submission. So Delboni needs to go all out here in these last 20 seconds.
I agree.
Delboni went 5 hard rounds with Alicia Zappitella, and the judges were not on her side that night. Now in the final moments here of this first round of this Phoenix tournament, Delboni trying to leave no doubt, punching her ticket to the semifinals. Jessica Delboni going to work. We will see how the judges look at that one. I mean, a very intriguing 5 minutes where I think both athletes made a case to try to win that round. It was Delboni being defensive while also still being offensive with the knees to the body, and you know, she finished the round in a pretty good position.
She did. You know, she actually landed strikes while she was in a defensive position, while her arm was wrapped up. So, you know, it really depends. She also got the takedown in this round, this one round. And so, you know, judges may score that in her advantage as well. But I would say, you know, Watkins landed some pretty good kicks, and she was on the attack, fishing for, or I shouldn't say fishing for, she had that arm for a while.
Let's take a look at this fight recap brought to you by Work From Home. WFHLife.com, the only brand exclusively focused on work from home. Soft, comfortable, and fashionable. Up to 60% off at WFHLife.com. Jessica Delboni fighting off that armbar, but again, Megan, knees to the body. Who's on offense here?
It is really hard to tell, and really that's up to the judges. But I think Delboni did a really good job of staying patient. She got out of the submission, and she started to do a lot of damage towards the later part of the round where she needed to. Whereas Watkins, you have to think that submission is an offensive position. How are they going to score that?
The judges have rendered their decision. Who's going to the semifinals? We will find out. Here's Joe Martinez.
Well, fight fans, after one round, we go to the judges, and all three see it 10-9 for your winner, advancing to the semifinals of the atomweight tournament. From Brazil, Jessica Delboni. Well, fight fans, we are set to go with the next quarterfinal tonight. This again in the atomweight tournament. Introducing you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist is 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in officially 105 1/3 pounds. Her professional record stands at 2 victories with 1 defeat. She fights out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Here is Katie Máquina Asesina Perez. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. Also standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, she weighed officially 105 3/4 pounds. In 11 professional fights, her record stands at 7 victories with 4 defeats. Fighting out of Scottsdale, Arizona, here is Lindsay Demzo Vanzandt. And your referee in charge of the action is Marcio La Selva.
Our tournament rolls on. Marcio La Silva getting this assignment. It is the newcomer, Katie Perez, taking on the vet, Lindsay Vanzandt. TJ DeSantis, Megan Anderson, Julie Kedzie here inside Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas, for the Phoenix tournament. Our clock powered by Juju Meat.
Vanzandt was true to her word. That was a nice kick earlier.
Definitely no filling out period for Vanzandt.
Trying to take the back now. Settles for an open half guard. Trying to get her guard back is Perez, half butterfly. Posturing up now and making space, allowing Perez to go back to her feet. Do you like the decision there by Vanzandt? Because, I mean, I think that makes a statement to the judges. Look, I took her down and allowed her to get back up.
Yeah, it does, but, I think she maybe wants to test out her striking. I think having a little bit of success in those early moments, I think maybe she feels a little bit more confident that she can stand, but then also taking her down and being a little bit dominant on the ground. Wow, some big punches there by Vanzandt.
Doubled up with the jab there, nicely done, getting an obvious reaction out of Perez.
It almost just feels like Vanzandt is playing with Perez a little bit. She's kind of hitting her big shots, moving in and out, and just letting her up and doing things when Vanzandt is ready for her to do that.
You can see a lot of confidence here from Vanzandt, and she definitely wants to try to finish this one, because if she's able to secure a victory, then she's in a good spot with a stoppage to actually sort of determine her own future later.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we've seen good striking from Vanzandt in the past and some creative striking, but tonight she is on fire, TJ. It's like she's got her sights all set up down the barrel of those punches. I'm really excited.
Oh, what a beautiful transition.
Yep, on the back once again is Vanzandt. Very defensive is Perez here. Now really tying up armbar.
Oh, beautiful.
Vanzandt very close to trying to secure a submission here. Belly down now with it, but Perez able to make some adjustments, but that arm is definitely extended now.
Wow, Perez is tough.
Far from done is Katie Perez. Looking at Vanzandt with the way that she's tied up here, is she's still threatening with this triangle, Julie?
I don't think she's threatening enough to be able to finish it there because of the extension of Perez's legs, but I think she could if she did a slight adjustment of her hips. I think she's getting kind of distracted, having herself extended out like that, and you can see Perez attacking her arm, trying for her own armbar setup here.
I mean, that is an interesting attack here. That's a simultaneous submission attempts here, but Vanzandt able to get free now, trying to work that triangle, but also mixing in some strikes here.
Kudos for her for recognizing that she can lock that right back on. You can see Perez is still fighting strong here.
And again, trying to get her leg. Oh, there's a tap. Wow.
Wow.
Lindsay Vanzandt secures a spot in the semifinals via submission, and with that stoppage, she's really set herself apart from the rest of the field thus far. We are going to have a athlete pick who they're going to fight next round, no matter what. Someone needs to do it now quicker than Lindsay Vanzandt, but the tone has been set.
Oh, and what an absolutely incredible performance by Vanzandt. While Perez showed a lot of toughness, a lot of heart, defending a lot of those positions, Vanzandt just seemed like she was on another level. You could tell there was a bit of an experience difference between the two, and it really showcased tonight.
You mentioned showcase. The veteran wanted to showcase her new skills that she picked up with the camp move, and showcase them she did.
She certainly did. I mean, I just have to say, those punches, they were razor sharp. That kick in the beginning, it was beautiful. And that, the transitions with the triangle and the arm bar and then staying on top of it, that was incredible.
Very game was Katie Perez, but tonight belongs to Lindsay Vanzandt. Joe Martinez will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the armbar submission comes official time, 3 minutes, 10 seconds of round number 1, and moving on to the semifinals, Lindsay Damsel Vanzandt.
Joe Martinez.
And all fight fans, we are set for our next atomweight quarterfinal. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. She's a grappler standing 5 feet 3 inches tall. Weighing in officially 106 pounds, her professional record stands at 2 victories with 1 defeat. Fighting out of Richmond, Kentucky, here is Linda F109 Mihalec. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. Her background is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. At 5 feet 2 inches tall, she weighed in 105 1/2 pounds in 7 professional fights. Her record, 4 victories with 3 defeats. Fighting out of Queens, New York, here is Jillian Lionheart Decoursey. And your referee once again in charge of the action is Marcio La Selva.
Our quarterfinals continue here inside Memorial Hall. It is Linda Mihalec getting this rematch with veteran Jillian Decoursey. TJ DeSantis, Megan Anderson, Julie Kedzie, live here tonight on Access TV for the Phoenix Tournament. Our clock powered by Juju Me. Fight premature aging with Juju Me's high-grade Juju Bees, the ultimate unknown superfood. Use code Invicta FC for 10% off. Decoursey in the red, firing that right hand there, finding a home. Mihalec trying to utilize that jab early.
Definitely no filling out between both these ladies. They're both hitting hard shots early on, which I love to see. There is no time to lose in these 5-minute rounds, and they're both trying to capitalize super early.
It's really a sprint. When you look at a mixed martial arts fight that goes 15 minutes, 5 minutes can go by in the blink of an eye, it feels.
It really can, or it can feel like forever. Something I like the way both are approaching this is Mihalec is really punching forward. She's really setting into that front leg with her punch. Decoursey read that earlier and threw an inside leg kick, and Mihalec responded with her own inside leg kick when she saw that Decoursey has a similar sort of style in moving forward.
Mihalec is doing a really good job when she enters with her jab. She's dropping her head right off the center line, so she's not being countered with that right hand or that jab. So she's very smart with the way that she's entering the pocket right now.
Would like to see a little bit more offensive footwork there from Decoursey.
Mihalec is very, when she enters in the pocket, she's very heavy on that lead leg. I would love to see Decoursey maybe look at beating up that leg with the low kick. She might be able to disrupt the stance a little bit, kind of get something of her own in the works from countering on that jab.
I agree.
You're looking at this striking affair. Both of these ladies, have their own approach and significantly different. We see Mihalec mix in the kicks, but she's been really jab heavy. And looking at Decoursey, she's a much more volume type of striker.
She is, and Decoursey likes movement. She likes wrestling. Got that takedown she was looking for, and now we can see her on the ground. This is where she wanted to be. This is where she likes to work. She likes to wrestle. She likes to grapple. But Mihalec is no slouch on the ground.
No, and just like that, she's able to get back to her feet.
Which that's huge in a 5-minute fight. You have to think, do they score that takedown?
Right.
She bounced right back up. Like, how do you score that? That's a really, important moment right there for Mihalec.
Also interesting for Mihalec, too, who disengaged on the feet, wanted to get this fight back at space, didn't really want to mess around in the clinch with Decoursey.
Well, I think she knows from their previous fight Decoursey's strengths, and she knows her own strengths. So why play into Decoursey's kind of field of expertise when she doesn't have to? And she's doing a really good job of using her range a little bit. Decoursey, I think, hasn't figured out the timing and range of Mihalec yet, and I think that's the benefit of a 3-round fight, but she doesn't have 3 rounds.
Right.
She's only got 1.
And that's really what a tournament's all about. It's all about that adjustment, and you don't get to make adjustments, after the round here in our quarterfinals and semifinals. You got to do it on the fly.
That was a nice interruption shot from Decoursey to Mihalec. It really kind of stopped her for a second, made her reassess, readjust. But Decoursey, she is a volume striker. I think she needs to pick up the volume even more right here. Mihalec is not necessarily landing more, but she's landing hard when she lands, TJ, and that's got to count, for something.
I would love to see Decoursey kind of double up on that jab as she enters the pocket, and then maybe switch up her levels and go to the body a little bit. She's struggling to close that range because Mihalec is doing a really good job of establishing with that hard jab, and she's kind of stopping her in her tracks. So I would like to see Decoursey kind of push the action a little bit more, increase that volume, and not let Mihalec control the range.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think range is what's going on here, especially for Mihalec. And I have to say, she is landing pretty darn hard. Decoursey's face is pretty red right now, and the legs are getting quite a beating.
About 45 seconds left here in the only round of this quarter-final fight, and you can see that momentum really building here for Linda Mihalec down the stretch.
Really is beautiful, beautiful jab. Decoursey's not really moving her head. Her head's very stationary, which is enabling Mihalec to kind of hit her shots every single time she throws, and she's hitting hard. Look at that cut open up on the bridge of the nose. The beautiful counter there by Decoursey.
Nice.
That's what I wanted to see from her. Mihalec is super heavy on that lead leg when she enters into the pocket to throw her strikes. Those leg kicks to disrupt her combinations are going to be there.
Final moments here in this round. Linda Mihalec trying to avenge a loss to Jillian Decoursey in an effort to move on to the semifinals. There we go, 5 minutes in the books between these atomweight athletes, getting familiar with one another, and heck of a fight. I really like the sort of adjustments that Mihalec made in this bout. She knew that she needed to make a statement, and for her, she knew that if she was able to stay at space and exchange and get her game going, that she was going to be able to really make an impression. We'll see if that impression landed with the judges.
Exactly, TJ. And with Mihalec, she knew that she needed to keep the pace up. She needed to keep moving forward, and that is what you needed to do in order to win this competition. And she showcased that here, and this was such a crucial moment for her. Decoursey with the takedown, but how did the judges score that? Mihalec was straight back up, right back at it, and she threw a lot more volume. She landed a lot more, and I feel like, while Decoursey was very strong in her moments, we'll see how the judges kind of score such a close bout.
We will see that fight recap brought to you by Work From Home. The judges, they're, taking their time figuring it out. It's very important. I think the lens in which they look at a mixed martial arts fight, it changes a lot in this tournament.
It is, but you said earlier you think that they're probably going to be forced to judge damage more, and I agree. Although we see Mihalec's face was pretty lumped up there, it wasn't necessarily showing during the fight. Now we see, they're kind of smoothing it out, and she's got a little bit of bruising around her eye as well. But, Decoursey's out there hopping around waiting for this decision. Mihalec's taking her time, being methodical. I think they both sustained some damage, probably more damage than any of the other fighters we've seen tonight, but we'll see how the judges is going to score that.
They have rendered their decision. It lies with Jill Martinez.
Well, fight fans, after one round, we have a split decision. Advancing to the semifinal tonight in this atomweight tournament from Richmond, Kentucky, Linda F109 Mihalec.
It's Jill Martinez.
And here we go, fight fans, our fourth quarterfinal in the atomweight tournament. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet even, weighing in officially 105 1/2 pounds in 4 professional fights. Her record stands at 3 victories and 1 defeat. Fighting out of North Haven, Connecticut, here is Marissa Spider Monkey Belenchia. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. Standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, she weighed in at the atomweight limit 106 pounds. Her record stands even with 4 victories and 4 defeats. Fighting out of San Diego, California, here is Paulina Firefox Granados. And your referee in charge of the action is Nick Behrens.
Referee Nick Behrens getting this quarterfinal assignment here. It is Marissa Messer-Belenchia taking on Paulina Granados. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Megan Anderson inside Memorial Hall tonight for the Phoenix tournament. Appreciate you joining us live here on Access TV. Belenchia going to work early here with about a 7-strike combo there. Closes the distance. Our clock here brought to you by Juju Me. Fight premature aging with Juju Me's high-grade Juju Bees, the ultimate unknown superfood. Use code Invicta FC for 10% off. Granados not able to get that takedown, but now trying to lock up the head of Belenchia. Fighting here in the clinch. Granados able to get a takedown here. See if she can secure it. And she does, now setting up here inside.
That really speaks to her confidence. She said, I know that she's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but I have a purple belt, and I train with some very, very good grapplers.
Nice adjustment here by Belenchia, who's in the half guard here of Granados.
Belenchia really came alive at the beginning of this round, and now she's coming alive on the ground here.
That initiative, it needs to be pushed because 5 minutes, not a lot of time to work. And now going to work is Belenchia on the back here of Granados.
And this is where she wants to be. This is where she can do her best work. And, she's doing a beautiful job with the transition to the back, except she's need to be a little bit careful because Granados is, trying to kind of get her heavy over the head so she's able to kind of shuck her off a little bit and reverse position. But, Belenchia doing a really good job of keeping those hooks engaged and really just riding the back very well.
And you can see she's very fast when she tries to sink in there, the rear naked choke. She hasn't quite gotten it in there yet, but she's looking for it. She really wants this finish.
She's setting it up really well, Julie, and it's just showcasing her experience in the grappling.
Trying to lock up this choke here is Belenchia. A lot of time to work, 3 minutes remaining here.
She's not quite under the chin, but she's putting a lot of pressure on the chin there.
Which you can finish from this position. If you look at somebody like Damian Maia, he does a really good job of finishing a rear naked choke without actually putting the arm underneath the chin. So it is doable, you just have to get the right angle.
And I have to say, I admire the way Granados keeps her legs moving independently of her defense on her feet. Like, she's already back on her feet. But she was able to use her feet to kind of switch her position, and while she was still defending against that choke.
Back at space, a little under halfway yet to go here in this fight, and closing the distance once again is Belenchia back in the clinch.
And Belenchia had an idea that she wanted to come in here and get quick finishes too, and you can see that's very much on her mind. Granados, though, she fights with a lot of fire, a lot of passion, and she said she does kind of end up being a slow starter at times, and it looks like she's back on her feet and she's ready to turn it up.
These athletes just throwing punches here with 2 minutes left in this round.
Oh, beautiful right hand there by Granados.
Granados not rattled at all by being taken down and controlled. She's very much in this fight, and Belenchia is as well coming forward again with more strikes.
It seems as though her hands have slowed down just a bit, Belenchia's, but nice adjustment there by grabbing the head and throwing on the inside. Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Knocked down there by Belenchia. Granados back to her feet for the time being, 90 seconds left.
I think Belenchia's strikes are just a little more crisper down the center, whereas Granados is kind of swinging a little wide with those big hooks, and I think that's where she's getting caught a little bit. You know, she's getting caught with those straight punches down the center while she's trying to swing wide with those hooks. But she's also hitting a lot of those punches herself.
And Belenchia does have pro boxing experience. You can kind of see that the way she's setting up those shots, and she's really tilting her head. Well, she was earlier. It's in one spot right now.
The corner of Granados urging her, Angela Hill saying, you know, throw more. Don't just throw one and done.
And this is really showcasing, like, when we spoke with Belenchia earlier on this week, she planned to go out all out for the 5 minutes and just worry about the next round if it came to that. She just plans to go out and give everything in that round, and that's exactly what we're seeing her doing. She's constantly walking forward, she's going for the takedown, she's throwing a lot of strikes, but Granados is not backing down. She is standing in the pocket and trading, and this is absolutely insane. Both of them just swinging for the fences.
We've got a fight, 20 seconds left in this quarterfinal here between Marissa Messer-Belenchia and Paulina Granados. Inside the clinch, final 10 seconds here of the round. Ooh. There you go, 5 minutes in the books between these atomweights. Paulina Granados was game. Marissa Messer-Belenchia, she knew what her game was, and she employed that plan very well.
She really did. She came out aggressive from the get-go, which is, you know, she claims to be an aggressive, forward-moving fighter. She showcased exactly that, and I think with the takedown and the reversal, I think that was crucial to her. She was able to do a little bit of damage, but look, right from the get-go, look at there's an 8 to 10 punch combination within the first 10 seconds, and I think that constant forward pressure really worked to hit her advantage. You know, great takedown there by Granados, but the reversal for Belenchia really, I think, sold it. In particularly the grappling stages, she was able to do a lot of damage on the ground. She was able to take the back. Really, she had control position. She was looking for damage. She was looking for submissions. And then when it got back to the feet, while Granados was really, you know, she came back strong. She was able to showcase a lot of her own skills. I think with that forward momentum from Belenchia at the first half of the round, she was really able to, I think, steal it. Potentially.
We'll see how the judges feel about it. They are rendering their decision. That fight recap brought to you by Work From Home. Visit WFHLife.com, the only brand exclusively focused on work from home, soft, comfortable, and fashionable, up to 60% off at WFHLife.com. All right, Joe Martinez has our official decision for this quarterfinal matchup.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after one 5-minute round, we go to the judges, and again, we have a split decision. Moving on to the semifinals tonight of the atomweight tournament from Connecticut, Marissa Spider Monkey Belenchia.